Theme of my talk today is positivity mindset. When I was in South America, I was doing volunteer work. One particular time in Brazil, we had to drive from the somewhat closest town to the village we were serving in, and we had to actually ride down a dirt road for about a half hour through the rainforest. And so it would actually become dense, and it would feel like there was a wall all around us and a ceiling as we're riding down this little dirt path. And that's how thick the forest was with trees and grass. And so as we're going through, it wouldn't be uncommon to see a snake just dart out of the green grass, go right across our path, and then dart right into the next green side on the other side of the road. And when they would come out like that, because for an American, you so rarely see a big 6 foot long snake or something like that. It was majestic. It was just awe inspiring, but it was completely frightening because you realize these things are crawling around. You see how fast they are, and you know that you would have no chance to get away from these snakes if one were to encounter you. But if you imagine yourself having to walk through a rainforest like that, and as you're going through, do you think maybe your eyes might be pointed down toward the ground? Do you think naturally you would be scanning the grass around you to try to see if there were any snakes in your path? We find that this is commonly the case with people who are in a cautious mindset. But for trauma survivors, that's how they live their life. They walk through life constantly looking for snakes in the grass. They generally feel distrustful of other people. They feel distrustful of situations because they're always waiting for something to come out and bite them. This, of course, is because of their background, being raised in a household where there was constant chaos and things were not stable, being raised by parents or caregivers that were untrustworthy, violent, harsh, neglectful of their needs, neglectful of their emotional needs. And a child who's had their emotional needs not met in childhood, as a result, can become paranoid later through life that they will be abandoned again because they may have had to even abandon themselves and become a people pleaser in that household just to feel some sense of love or respect or attention or admiration from their caregivers. And so they're walking through life constantly looking for figurative snakes in the grass. They see their world as disappointing, in a place where they will be disillusioned, where they will be tricked. And they may even learn to complain. They may complain because they have a negativity mindset. It's always like something is not good enough because they are looking for the problems before the problem finds them. They want to be on top of whatever issue, whatever game is being played, whatever manipulation is being spun. They feel that it's an inevitability that they will be fooled or cheated on. And so they're looking constantly for the signs. And this causes them to adopt a negativity mindset. They don't want to be negative people, but in their heart of hearts, they feel that it keeps them safe to believe the worst, about everyone they meet, to believe the worst about people they do business with. In their minds, they find themselves catastrophizing. It's thinking of all the worst things that could possibly happen in any given situation. They may find themselves blaming others. They may find themselves complaining. They may find themselves fault finding. They may find that they have a victim mentality, or that they're constantly suspicious and paranoid. They may devalue others. They may actually self-blame and self-condemn as a result of their negativity mindset. So how do we break out of the negativity mindset, and more so, how do we stay out of it? For many survivors in our course here, you've made strides to think more positively, and you go through days, maybe even weeks, depending on where you're at in your journey, where you actually feel good. But then something happens. Something throws you off. It's the way someone talks to you, or a situation that arises that triggers you, and it makes you go back into thinking negative, which again makes you feel negative. Because all of our emotions and our feelings hinge on our perceptions. How do we get our perceptions to twist out of negativity mindset? How do we get into a positivity mindset? And how do we stay there when things are triggering us in the world around us? We want to think of things in terms of energy, because our thoughts are energy, right? So if there's positive thoughts, then positive is plus sign, and positive thoughts are energy that builds up. So then negative thoughts is negative energy minus sign, so it takes our energy away. So we have to recognize that when we have a negative thought, such as, oh, I could never afford that, and we say something like that to ourselves, or we take that perception onto something, that takes energy away. We say, I could never afford that. So now will you be able to afford it? It is not possible, because now you have spoken it, and you have created an energy vortex in which the energy is being sucked out of the potential of that situation. So just like we have the ability to create things, we can decreate with the way that we're speaking to ourselves and the way that we're thinking. Positive energy will build up, will add to. Negative energy will take away. So negative thoughts suck the energy out of the situation. No one here likes me. I could never do that. I can't control my emotions. I hate everyone. I hate all people. I hate myself. When we think negative thoughts, we take away the energy from the situation. Nothing works out for me. I never win at anything. I can't trust anyone. All of these concepts are sucking like a vacuum all of the energy out of the situation. We are deconstructing. We are decreating. What we're doing is we're decreating a reality by thinking in negatives. We're sucking all the energy away from what we could possibly build because we're reality builders. We build our reality. Everything around you was built through thoughts. Your house, your lamp, your desk, it's all imagined. But it can only occur through positive thinking. Someone had to say, I can make a lamp. I can make a desk. We can create a computer. They can't. If they were thinking in the negative, then there would be no computer. There would be no lamp, no desk. In terms of things that we want to accomplish in life or who we want to be, the negative thoughts are deconstructing that. So we're actually decreating the self. If we say, I'm ugly, I'm not good at anything, I don't have any talents, I'm worthless, I'm fat, I'm unwanted, I'm not valuable, I'm unlovable, deconstruct, 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 deconstruct the self. Until one day you wake up and you feel like, I don't know why I'm even alive. And now we're in suicidal ideation. It's life-threatening to deconstruct yourself. So when we talk about this concept of negative and positive thinking, this isn't just about feeling good and making money. This is deeper than that. This is our mental health. It hinges on our ability to stop deconstructing ourselves, to stop decreating ourselves with our negative thoughts, and to learn how to create and to construct with positivity mindset by saying very much the opposite of all those negative things. I am beautiful. I am capable. I am doing well. I can control my emotions. I will ace this interview. I can start my own business. I am worthy. I am lovable. I am deserving. Just those thoughts are building the self. They're creating the self. They have the power to create a reality. And it's the same for our situation. I love people. There are good people. I can trust some people. I love my job. I love my life. I can afford it. Eventually, it is possible. Maybe one day. Now we start to construct a reality. Just taking that, for example, instead of saying, I can't afford it, when you say, possibly one day I could, just in that very moment, you add energy. You allow the brain to continue to work down that direction, which literally is creating a neural pathway that allows the synapse to continue firing in that direction. Maybe one day, maybe one day, maybe one day. If we take that a step further, we make it more propitious, which is advantageous to the self. Then we say, I can afford that. Then your brain starts working on how I can do that. You may ask the question, a propitious question, which is an advantageous question. How can I afford that? And the brain starts working on how I can afford that. And it's creating a neural pathway, a neural network in the mind. If you say, I deserve that, I definitely will have that one day. The mind becomes assured of it. And that becomes a belief. That belief is faith. That faith is assurance of a reality that is not yet beheld. So you're making a reality in your mind. So then you are more likely to act in accordance with that reality, which will then create a reaction in the world around you, which will build that into a reality. The positive thinking is creation thinking. You are creating, you are building, you are constructing your world. So you can create a reality. You can affect your actual existence on this earth with the way that you utilize the mind. So you must be very careful. We talked the other night about thought boundaries. This is where thought boundaries come in. Negative thinking has to be against your thought boundaries. Boundaries are rules, limitations that we make up. So you have to have a thought boundary that says, I won't think negatively about me. I'm not going to think negatively about myself, because what sense does that make to deconstruct me and to deconstruct myself? That doesn't make sense. And then we take it a step further and say, you know what, I have another thought boundary. I won't think negatively about my world, my life, because what good does it do for me to suck the energy out to decreate when I should be creating and building and making? So make sure your thought boundaries are in place and you're adhering to them, right? That's one of the ways that we can stay in positivity mindset. And as we have those positive thoughts, our brain keeps working on creating those things, and they turn into beliefs, and it builds faith and it builds confidence, just creating an inner reality. And then it changes the way we act, which creates a reaction, which creates an outward reality. Understand the power of the thoughts. We must be very careful with the wording. Yes, the wording, the semantics matter in the brain. Because when you speak to yourself, you're speaking to your subconscious mind, or it could be your subconscious mind is speaking to you. Your subconscious mind is an AI. It's like an artificial intelligence. It's a computer system that you've been given. It's just a gift that you're walking around with. And sort of like in the movies where Iron Man is talking to his suit, and his suit has a whole voice and a brain of its own, and he'll have a whole conversation, and he'll say, Jarvis, what is the chances that we'll be able to such and such? And Jarvis is speaking back to them, well, sir, the probability of the such and such. That's how your subconscious is. It just doesn't have a British accent unless you're British, right? It knows English. It learned it while you were learning it. So now when you speak to it, it doesn't have the ability to distinguish, to make the choices and decisions for you. You are the choice maker. You're the free agent. Your subconscious is just an AI. So when you speak to it, it takes it as commands. This is important. When you speak to your subconscious, it takes it as commands. So when you say, I can't, which I hear too many survivors say this, I can't. When you say I can't, your subconscious mind says, aye, aye, Captain. We can't do it. Let your body know that you can't do it, and it will not allow you to do it. Try it. Try doing something and keep telling yourself, I can't. And you will not be able to do it because your subconscious mind is taking it as a command. If you're trying to ice skate for the first time, you say, I can't do this. I can't. The more you say that, your ankles will turn to jello. You will not be able to do it. Because you decided you won't do it, by the way, because you told your subconscious mind you won't do it. And subconscious mind is just obedient. It's doing its job. Aye, aye, Captain. She said we can't do it, so we're not going to do it. Change the way you speak to the mind. Don't tell it you can't do it. Tell it you can do it. Get out there on the ice and say, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. It's okay. I got this. Speak reassuringly to the mind, just like if you're raising a child. Because as the mind is learning something new or going through a situation for the first time, it needs that reassurance from you. So just like you would reassure a child, you must reassure your subconscious mind, and the subconscious mind will then allow you to start to learn. It will allow the neural pathway to start to form. When you start to feel panicked, you're like, oh no, I'm gonna have a panic attack. If you inform the mind, the subconscious mind, oh, I can't take this, I can't take this, I can't get through this, I can't handle this, I can't control my emotions. Oh my God, my heart rate. Oh my goodness, everything's going dark. I can't stay, right? You keep going into I can't. Your subconscious mind says, we can't. Shut her down. And it will take over. And it will black you out or shut down some limbs, or it's just trying to help you, right? Because you said you can't. You told it I can't do this, I can't handle this. So it will take you into a whole dissociation. Your subconscious mind will lock you out. If you convince it that you can't handle it, it will lock you out. And then you're dissociated. And then you say, I don't know why I dissociated. I don't know what happened. When you come back to reality, you get grips again. I know what happened. You told your supercomputer to lock you out. You told it you weren't able to handle the situation. But when you are going through that same situation, you feel your heart start to get nervous, and you're feeling your physiology start to change. If you change your wording to your subconscious mind and you say, oh wow, I seem to be nervous about something. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I got this. I got this. I can do this. I got this. You can speak in third person. You can say, you got this. You got this. It's all right. Just stay calm. Stay calm. This is going to pass. This is going to pass. This is temporary. Speak to yourself. This is temporary. You've been through this before. You've done this 1,000 times. This is nothing. This is barely even a panic attack. This is nothing. We got this. Let's hold on to something. All right, here we go. What are the steps? So yeah, slow down my breathing. All right, let's trace the thinking. What's happening? Let me stop. Let me be still. Let me be thoughtful. Let me be observant. Let me be patient. That's a stop, right? Let me think. What's going on? Oh yeah, I know what I was thinking about. I was thinking about my ex-husband and that he might be spying on me. Okay, all right. Yep, that's what it is. Oh yeah, and yeah, that's a negative thought, isn't it? And that's making me paranoid, and that's a trigger because of what happened in my childhood too. Okay, now I know what it is. Let me get my pen out. I'm going to do the JOT method on this, and bam, you work yourself right out of your potential panic attack. You don't have to lose control. It's the power of taking over the way that you speak to yourself. So the semantics matter. All the powerlessness talk, the I can't, that's a problem. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the phrase I can't is banned, because you can use I can't in a propitious way. In other words, an advantageous way, right? So you can use I can't like, I can't lose. I can't lie. Right? So you can use I can't in a positive way. So it's not that the phrase is wrong, but it's all about, are we deconstructing ourselves? Are we decreating? Are we sucking the energy away? Or are we adding to? Are we building forward with the way that we're using this terminology? So how can we stay in this positivity mindset? We got to strip down and go to the core belief system. This is your philosophy in the way that you live, your core beliefs. Oftentimes we find when we strip things back that we have core beliefs that are detrimental to ourselves. So we have to make sure all of our beliefs are helpful and they're adult and they're sophisticated. Such as if you have a core belief that thinking negatively and distrusting keeps you safe, then you need to go in and change that core belief, because thinking negatively is not to your advantage. It is not keeping you safe. So we need to update our belief. Now, we may have developed that belief after we went through a trauma and we said, I don't ever want to go through that again. And our subconscious mind, the traumatized mind, said, we're going to put you on high alert. We're going to make sure this never happens again. And the way we're going to do this, we're going to preemptively think the worst before the worst actually happens. So now every time you see someone, it's thinking that person's going to be an attacker. And every time you're in a situation, it's thinking that situation is going to be a scam. And every time you're having a good moment, it catastrophizes the moment. It makes it you think of you having a car accident and everything flipping over and everything going wrong. And that way you're safe, right? But now we have to recognize, okay, that's the trauma mind, emotional thinking, and that belief, it doesn't work. It doesn't actually make me safe. What actually is happening is we are living in that terrible reality that we're creating for ourselves. We're playing a movie for ourselves of our car flipping over and people taking advantage of us and people cheating more than they're actually doing it. So we created a negative reality to live in, which is going to hurt our chemicals, which is going to hurt our emotions, which is going to hurt our DNA, which is going to open us up to illness, make it difficult to heal. It's all science. So we have to regulate the chemicals and the emotions so that we can help the genes and help the body to be able to heal and to be able to do well and boost the immune system through staying out of the negativity and being in the positive mindset. And we can only stay in the positive mindset if we don't have a detrimental belief system, such as, well, being negative is helpful. That's detrimental. It's childhood thinking. It's trauma mind thinking. Let's upgrade it. Let's sophisticate the thoughts. How do we do that? What's an upgraded belief for life? I'd like to help you out with this one. Those who are mature about life recognize that to a degree, life is a competition. Not in a direct sense in all ways, but generally speaking, many things in our society are set up on a win-lose basis. And even if you're not directly competing against another person, you still have to compete against the land and the universe itself. Everything takes work. It takes a striving after. And so if you're playing a game or you're in a competition, what mindset is going to help you? Negativity mindset or positivity mindset? Well, we all know the positivity mindset. Everyone knows that. And you know that too. There is no team that doesn't have, instead of cheerleaders, they have booers. There's no team that's like that. Like, oh, we need somebody to come out here and boo us and hate us. They know that that's not the case. They don't do instead of a pep talk, they don't do a draining talk, right? They understand we have to speak positively to each other. We have to high five each other, smack each other on the butts, tell each other, yeah, you're going to do a good job. You got this, right? We understand it works to be positive. The propitious thinking is what helps us. So recognize that for yourself and adopt a new mindset and approach life like a competition, because at times it is before you're ready for it. And so your positivity mindset is going to help you to be able to perform at a high level for a long period of time. It's sustainable thinking. I can do this. I got this. I'm able. I'm capable. We have to have thoughts that are advantageous to the self. This isn't about, sheer optimism, bubbly, like we got to go through life, like always looking at the bright side of everything. That's not what we're talking about with this whole positivity mindset thing. It's about looking at things from the standpoint of having the edge. How can I flip this scenario so that it's to my advantage? That's when you have it on a sophisticated level. It's not realistic that you're always going to be in a good mood. You're always going to feel happy-go-lucky and be prancing around. That's not what we're trying to go for. Someone who's constantly in a positivity mindset recognizes it's just simply not to their advantage to be negative, to take a negative angle. It simply is to their advantage to take a positive angle and to flip things and look at them as to how it works to their advantage in the end, no matter what. And that is the truly positive person, not the one who's blindly, blissfully optimistic all the time. It's the person who recognizes that it's to their advantage to flip things so that it's to their own benefit, so that it advances their purpose. And yes, it all comes back to your purpose. You have to be a purpose-driven person. You have to know what you are trying to accomplish. Pick a purpose and go for it. I want to start my business. I want to write my book. I want to help survivors of trauma. I want to help women. I want to help children. I don't care who you want to help. Pick a purpose. Help somebody and help yourself in the process. Find something you want to do, something you want to accomplish. Have a goal that helps you to stay out of negativity mindset because you have a purpose. So therefore the negativity mindset will simply, very clearly, very logically not help you towards your purpose. So this is about being outside of the emotional and the feels and being inside of what is to my advantage, what will help me to get to where I want to go. Oh, you know what? That thought doesn't help me. It doesn't serve me. So then if someone dumps you or they don't call you or they ghost you or they don't answer your text, see, when you're on your purpose, instead of thinking, I have no worth, I have no value, I'm nothing. When you're on your purpose, you go, well, that person's missing out because I'm about to help these women, help these children do this big. You flip it so that it works to your advantage. Well, if the person's ghosting me, then obviously they weren't worthy of me. And if they're not worthy of me, I don't want them with me. That's how we keep ourselves in positivity mindset. We've updated the beliefs. It's no longer all about pleasing everyone and being in fear. It's about thinking in a way that's advantageous to the self. It's not advantageous to me to think that I'm unlovable because someone didn't text me back. It's not advantageous to me to think that I'm worthless and I'll never succeed because I didn't get a call back from that interview. It works to my advantage to say, well, it's a numbers game, baby. Got to keep going. It works to my advantage to think like that. It's not because I'm a happy, cheesing person all the time. That's not what positivity mindset is about. You can have your moments where you're cranky. You can have things you're not into, right? You can say, I don't like this movie. I don't want to be awake right now. That's natural. That doesn't mean you've lost positivity mindset. But ultimately, you're going to always snap back. You're going to rubber band back to that purpose and say, okay, what's to my advantage right now? How can I flip any situation, anything, any thought, and flip it to my benefit? Some people say, well, I'm not an optimist or a pessimist. I'm a realist. Most people use the term realist to disguise their pessimism. They say, I'm a realist. It's not going to work out. Realistically, it's not going to work. They're just disguising their pessimism. A real realist understands reality. They live in reality. Reality is not simply what you can eat, touch, taste in front of you. Reality is something that is created. The reality you live in has been created through positive thinking, through propitious thinking, through imagination, through goal setting and achievement. That's the power of thoughts. So if you really are living in reality, if you're really a realist, then you realize that you must be thinking in a propitious, positive, self-beneficial manner. And that's going to advance you. It's going to advance your purpose. So what are some examples of positive thoughts? I can do this. I am capable. I am lovable. I am strong. I have the ability. What are some examples of positive questions we can ask ourselves? Why am I capable? Why am I beautiful? Why am I strong? When we want to use what I call a propitious question, we're going to go as far as to aggrandize the self. To aggrandize the self means to level yourself up. So we're going to say, why am I the best candidate for this job? Why am I going to be so rich? Why am I going to be so successful though? Why do I not need that man? Why can I do this without that girl? Why am I so strong? When we feed our mind propitious thoughts and questions like this, the mind starts to build that new reality. Soon you're going to be living a life in a world that's a little altered by you, and you will be so much happier as a result. You were made to be powerful. You are wonderful. Positivity mindset is plus. It's positive energy. This is how we tap into our power. So tell your supercomputer what you want it to do, where you want it to go, who you want it to be. And please enjoy the results when you've changed reality a little and you're living in that world that was created for you, by you.